Partitioning. It's one of life's important skills. Just ask anyone who's ever been dealt a piece of birthday cake which has been smaller than everyone else's. I thought so. In this video, we're going to have a look at strategies for partitioning a whole into halves, thirds, and fifths, and also explore where these ideas can lead to with your students. Now, to do this activity, you're going to need a clear laminate sheet, a whiteboard marker, and also a whiteboard eraser. Before starting, the key with partitioning is to define the whole. In this case, the whole is one laminated sheet. But if I wanted to, I could actually say that half the laminated sheet is a whole. In which case, this here would be two wholes on the one page, making this little section here a half, and also this section here a half. It's important to be aware of this, as too often in our classrooms we define a whole as being one singular item. But this isn't always the case, and it's important for students to understand this too. But as I said before, for the purpose of this video, we will keep one laminated sheet as being the whole. Now, in my experience, I've found that by secondary school, most students will have a pretty good grasp of how to partition a whole into halves. If you find that you have a student who struggles with this, encourage them to draw a line down the middle of the shape so that the whole has now been divided into two equal parts. You can then test this idea of two equal parts by checking for congruence, either by folding one half onto the other or by cutting each half out and placing them on top of each other. It's probably best though to not cut your laminated sheet, as this gets pretty expensive pretty quickly. Now that we've briefly touched on halves, we can use this strategy to find thirds. Now, we know that a third is a bit less than a half. So using this knowledge, we can find a half on our page and mark somewhere that's just a little bit less than a half. Say around about here. Now, we just need to go through and draw our line down and then divide the remaining space into two equal parts to give us thirds. Now, to explore fifths, well, it's a similar kind of approach to what we did with our thirds. We know that fifths is smaller than quarters. So by using our halving strategies, we can find 1/4 by halving and then halving again. And for a fifth, we're going to go just a little bit less than 1/4. Now that I've found my fifth, all I need to do is break up the remaining space into 4 equal parts by halving that and then halving each half again. Once you've explored the whole idea of halving and thirding and fifthing, you can use these strategies to find out a whole range of other fractions. What I like to do is get students to explore how you can take these patterns even further, and then give them challenges such as how might you use these strategies to find maybe sixths or ninths or 15ths or 20ths and so on, and simply let them explore. Now, as we know, partitioning is important when working with any of the 4 operations with fractions, and we'll address this in the next video. But as students partition, draw their attention to clearly defining what the whole is. Also, the idea of equal parts, and that as the number of equal parts increases within a whole, the size of each equal part also gets smaller. So there you have it. We've explored a range of strategies that you can use with your students to partition a whole. My name's Tom Moore, and I'll see you next time.